You're listening to the WBT Podcast with Michael Lodge. Listen to all of our podcasts at www.wbtpod.com. Stay informed. Let's get started.
This is brought to you by Lodge & Co., a business and tax advisory firm where your success is our goal. Call us today toll-free at 888-681-1518 or visit us at www.lodge-co.com and learn more about what we can do for you. Lodge & Co., your source for sound business and tax services.
And thank you for joining me on the WBT. This is Mike Lodge. Beautiful morning here in Pasadena, California. Getting up, starting the day. It's about 5:31 in the morning as I look at the clock. I wanted to go over a recap of this tax season. I know that yesterday was April 15th, and a lot of you walked away from it kind of mystified as to what happened. You're probably asking, what happened to my refund? It's a good question to ask because over the past few years, you have been using the refund as a bank. You have been giving the money away to the Internal Revenue Service and to the government to use throughout the year. You got no interest from it. You got no dividends from it. When you could have been taking that same refund that you've been getting over the past few years and putting into investments of your own, preparing for retirement, preparing for your children's education. But instead, what did you do? You wanted to have that refund. So in the beginning of 2018, we had the Tax Reform Act that came into everyone's existence. You got more money in your take-home pay during the course of the year of your W-2 wage. And at the same time, you had more money in your pocket, and you should have been taking that money, even if it's $50 a week or $50 a pay period or whatever it was, and putting that back into your own financial life. And each of you have a financial life, but you've got to take care of it better. So what happened? So you lost a few deductions on your Schedule A, which is your itemized deductions, and you lost some state taxes, especially if you're in California and New York, which are the highest tax states in the nation when it comes to state taxes. So you lost those deductions. Now, in January, you knew that you were going to lose those deductions. And what you should have done in January of 2018 is go to your tax practitioner and sit down with them and say, okay, what do I need to do to correct my tax situation? Because a lot of you walked out of your tax practitioner's office this 2019 tax season owing Uncle Sam because you did not take the financial responsibility to change your W-4. Now that's your fault, so you have to take responsibility of that. The other issue that you didn't do is you didn't sit down at the beginning of every single year, especially 2018. You did not sit down and put together a budget. And part of that budget is not only your personal spending, the personal income that's coming in, minus the personal expenses going out, but also what affected your tax liability. So this is the problem that most Americans have, and the lesson that they have learned is that they now have to do financial planning every single year. So which means that you've got to focus on your personal budget on a monthly basis. You just have to do it. I love this tax season for one reason. Is that Americans now have to think about their personal financial planning. They've never had to do this in the past because what they were focused on was that refund at the end of the year. Now it's an even playing field. If you owed a little bit or if you got a little bit back, you're right at the place where you need to be. Now, if you overly owe the government, you're not because you didn't do any tax planning. If you got too much of a refund back, you're giving too much back throughout the year to Uncle Sam. So you have got to think about this. Okay, financial planning is each of our responsibility to take control of our finances and of our tax situations. And if you're not sitting down with your tax practitioner, and if you're not asking the questions of what should I do, where should I be tax-wise, then you are not fulfilling the financial responsibility for you or your family. So we have to think about this differently. Our mindset has got to change. Our mindset has now got to be, what am I going to do to be better financially secure and a financial steward of my money? That's the question. Am I a financial steward of my money? Am I managing it well? And if you're not, then you need to sit down and start doing it. And if you need help, contact me at my office at 888-681-1518, extension 0. Talk to Brenda and she'll set up a time for us to talk. But listen, you need to get into the groove here. You need to take some responsibility. I'm often surprised at the way the economists look at this. I just read an article saying how people plan for their refund to be a part of their budget. That is stupid, freaking awful if you're thinking that way. What you should be doing is, how am I taking that money and investing it? I'm surprised. You know what? Think about this. Let's say you thought you were going to get a $4,000 refund. That's what you've gotten over the past few years. What would happen if you took that money instead throughout the year and put that money into an IRA for your child? Think about it. If you started to put an IRA for your children right now, do you know how much they would have by the time that they were ready to go to school, or by the time that they were ready to retire? They would have a substantial amount there. And the same thing that goes for you. Are you taking that money and putting it into an account that is going to help you also? Are you investing it? Are you putting it into a 401k? Are you putting it into an IRA? What are you planning right now? Instead of thinking that refund that's going to come down at the end of the year, use some money throughout the year and lower your taxable income. There are so many different ways. You need to sit down with your tax practitioner. You need to sit down with a good financial guy that's going to put you on a budget, so that you know what your income is coming in and what expenses are going out, and put together a budget so that you know that you have this extra money at the end of every single month that you can put someplace that is planning for your future. That is the mindset that you have to come to now during tax season, from January through April. I take that back, from January through December. You have got to be thinking about your financial structure. This is Mike Lodge for the WBT. If you have any questions, send me an email at mlodge@lodge-co.com, and I'll be more than happy to answer your questions. We'll talk soon, okay? Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to the WBT with Michael Lodge. Join us again tomorrow as we explore more about business and taxes. Follow us on iHeartRadio and go to our podcast website at www.wbtpod.com and listen to all of our podcasts and read our blogs.
This is brought to you by Lodge & Co., a business and tax advisory firm where your success is our goal. Call us today toll-free at 888-681-1518 or visit us at www.lodge-co.com and learn more about what we can do for you. Lodge & Co., your source for sound business and tax services.